Captain, that most people want to walk by and wondering what are you doing here, disrupting an important meeting going on. But first and foremost, I share the concerns that all of you have in regard to the challenge we're facing across this country. Whether you're a retiree or a potential future retiree, or you're still working, everybody needs to be worried about their pensions. We're seeing the attack on workers right across this country, both in the private sector and the public sector. And fundamentally, we got to resist and push back. We didn't create this crisis, and fundamentally, we shouldn't have to pay for it. So it's critical in that regard, of course, the work that's going on among the affiliates, of course, to keep their defined benefit plan. I can't reinforce the importance of that. We have to resist, and we can concede to employers' demand. Fundamentally, for the most part, defined benefit plan, if they're not almost 90 to 95% funded, they're not that far away. And we need to recognize, yes, the crisis of 2008 and the financial crisis and the economic crisis have put enormous stress on our pension plan. But pension plan funding have to be seen over a longer period of time. There are always going to be ups and downs in terms of pension returns. And employers who are taking advantage to try and, of course, attack workers' pensions in this country is unjustified in their behavior, and by God, they should be called for doing it. As you know, our campaign has always been to say that what we have for our members, we desire for all Canadians across this country. And the CLC campaign to expand the Canada Pension Plan is fundamental, because the fact of the matter is those who have pension should not have to defend themselves day in and day out. What we need to ensure is that all Canadians have a decent pension when they retire in this country, regardless of whether they're in the union or not. And the only way we can achieve such an objective, of course, is to expand the Canada and the Quebec pension plan across this country. Our campaign, of course, will continue. We are going to relaunch a campaign this fall. It will include 4 basic elements. One is to double the CPP benefit for all Canadians across this country, and of course, increase the premiums accordingly until we can reach that objective. Secondly, of course, for us to roll back the age in which you can get OAS and GIS from 67 to 65 against the Harper government. Importantly, for the poorest citizens who live in this country, those who are getting GIS currently, as the government is about to announce it would have a large deficit for the next budget, those poor seniors in this country need a raise, and by God, we should push this government to give those seniors a raise in the upcoming budget for next year. The last but not least, of course, sisters and brothers, is the work we have to do to continue to protect defined benefit plan. It's not just private sector workers, it's public sector workers across this country. So the intensity of this work, the education that needs to continue, and the support we need to show to each other in regard to our various struggles is critical and important. All those 4 elements will form part of the CLC renewed campaign around retirement security across this country. And of course, we hope to make this a ballot box issue when we go into the election in 2015. First of all, to get rid of this rotten government and continue to attack workers, but more importantly, to fight to improve the lot for all Canadians across this country. Why should you spend a lifetime working only to retire in poverty in this country? It's unacceptable. So let me conclude. My good friend Paul Moyes, who is not here, wanted for me to express greetings on his behalf. He couldn't join you here tonight. But fundamentally, Paul, myself, John Hannon, and a number of other colleagues from the labor movement will be inside, of course, in the discussion, deliberations. I want you to know there will not be a missed opportunity for me to make the point about the importance of working people in this country who have built this country and contributed to the profit of the corporation need to have security in their retirement. We are not about to concede that to the financial markets and the bank and the insurance company across this country. Thank you so much.